So for several years now, I've been trying to come up with a contraption that would allow you to really easily clean a lot of bearings at once. And this idea I've been messing with in my head has been like pretty complicated. Like I was imagining like some tube you'd slide a whole stack of bearings into, like up to like 32 bearings, and just big long stack, and you'd attach to a hose, and you'd turn the water on, and it would have a rotor at the end, and it would spin the bearings as water was rushing through, and that would be a really cool, easy way to clean a lot of bearings at once. And so I've thought of a lot of ideas like this, but I haven't had a chance to try or build anything because they're just pretty complicated machines to try to build just for cleaning bearings. So recently I had this idea that I could utilize a really well-made machine that already exists that most people have in their homes. And that would be right here, a washing machine. So what I've got is I've got a bunch of my bearings, and I'm just sticking them in this sock if I don't drop them on the floor. And I've got about 16 bearings in this sock. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie a knot at the end. And I've got all the shields off, and I've got all the shields in this sock so that they can get washed as well, but they won't be bumped and bent by the bearings in this sock. And I'm just going to throw them in a load of laundry, and this is just my bed sheets and a shirt and some socks, and I'm going to stick it on hot and do my usual heavy duty thing. And I'm going to do a load of laundry with some bearings in it. And you know what? If this works, this will be just about the easiest, simplest way to clean bearings that I can imagine. So let's try it out. Alright, so here's the results. I've taken the bearings out of the sock, and I've put them out and I've sorted them into the different groups based on what type of bearing they were or what the results were. Let's start in the middle. These bearings all got cleaned really, really well. You couldn't ask for your bearings to get better cleaned than these are. The condition is very good. They're perfect. As far as I'm concerned, that's as good as it's going to get. So these bearings had a combination of either white lithium grease or 3-in-1 oil in them. And it was able to get rid of the white lithium grease and the 3-in-1 equally as well and come out with really good, really clean bearings. Over here, however, I've got a set of bearings that were in my drawer and just sitting without shields, just with white lithium grease caking on them for about 3 years. It's got this caked on grease that it didn't clean off completely. But there was white lithium grease in some of these other bearings, and it cleaned those off as well. So I'm gonna chalk this down to just the fact that it was so old and so caked on. And perhaps there's something I could do to make it so that it would clean these even better. Maybe just put them in another load again, or maybe put some detergent directly inside the sock, and maybe that would help. Here I've got a rusted bearing, and this is just a bearing I put in that was rusted beforehand to see if it would clean off any additional rust. It seems more or less to be the same condition it was in when I put it in. So I'm going to say that's a neutral, neither encouraging or discouraging. So this last group of bearings are bearings that have these shields on them. So I can't exactly go in them and look and see the condition of how clean they are after the wash. However, I do know that all of these had a race oil or a skate oil in them and not a heavy grease. So because of the success of these bearings, where it was able to wash out both greases and oils really well, I'm going to go ahead and say that these are probably washed out really well as well, at least well enough to where the dirt's been washed out and any residual grease or oil is probably negligible. So this makes me really excited because these are also very old bearings. that haven't been cleaned because I didn't feel like I had a method to clean them easily without going to a lot of trouble. So this didn't cost me a lot of trouble. I got them cleaned, they're ready to be lubed, so I'm really happy. So I'm gonna have to figure out a different way to lube them up now that they're clean without having to open them up. So that'll be another video. So there we go. Cleaning your bearings using the washing machine. I think that worked out very well. Just a little drawback with this really old weightlifting grease that possibly might have a way around it, but for your normal routine maintenance, this seems to be like a perfect solution. And in case you're wondering, no, these bearings are not ruined by the water. They're perfectly fine. They're good to go. Very happy. So I think I can give this a good thumbs up and say I recommend this. Try this out. Easy way to clean your bearings. Longboard technology, over and out.